Best Pixel 10 Pro video settings. If you spend 3 minutes watching this video and follow these simple settings, you will have the best video possible on your Pixel 10 Pro. Hello everyone, this is Ahmed Dan. So when you open the camera, you're going to see the photo and the camera option. Switch to camera by clicking here, and then you're going to click on settings, which is on the lower left corner. So if you click right here, then this is going to bring up the camera settings. And just to mention that we're going to be looking at the general tab and the more tab, and then these three dots. So the first thing, keep the flash off because this is going to ruin your video if you keep it on. But there are occasions when you need to shoot your face and it's dark, then you definitely can turn it on. Video boost, keep it off. It really doesn't work. This is not real video boost. It just sends files to Google and they just reprocess the file. And I attempted to do it a few times, but somehow it doesn't work for me. And I had the same thing in Pixel 8 Pro. It never worked for me. So keep it off. Resolution 4K, and then you can do like 1080 or you can do 4K. So I usually do 4K, and 4K is the best option. Now when you are doing 4K, then you're going to get the option of frame per second, so which is going to be either 24 and 30 or 60. My recommendation would be do 60 frames per second if you're doing moving stuff, or if you're just recording and walking or anything moving, then do 60. The reason being, if you do 24 or 30, I noticed that Pixel phones, they stutter when your video. So it's it looks like your video is getting stuck when you're panning. So it's video stuttering, and you can eliminate that, or you can make it much better if you choose 60 frame rate per second. But if your video is fixed, then you can do 24 or 30, but most of the times 60 is the best option. Now 10-bit HDR, it is not available if you are doing 60, but it would be available if you're doing let's say 30 or 24. But I do not recommend that because it makes video looks not normal or not natural, so you don't need that. Macro focus, keep it auto. What it does, that if you keep this auto, then when you are closing, zooming to a subject or object very close, just for example, let's take a look at this watch. So if you go very close to this watch, it's going to give you more details. It is going to do macro video of that watch. So for that reason, if I come into scenarios, I need to do that, I turn it on. But usually it's best to turn it auto, because that way you don't need to worry about turning it on or off. The camera will pick up when you're very close to an object. Now let's move on to the more tab, which is right here. And here you can see that there's just two options: stabilization standard and stabilization locked. So locked would be when you are fixed. This is not going to be you're using a lot. Most of the times standard stabilization is the best option. And there is another option which is it's called stabilization active, and that's heavy stabilization. But in order to do that, you're going to have to go to 1080, because it doesn't support on 4K mode. So for that reason, standard is good enough. Speech enhancement, unavailable. So in order to have this active, you need to change it to 24 or 30 frames per second. What is this? That if you are videoing from one place and you're zooming in to something far, a little bit far away, or even far away, like in a crowd or someone, having this on makes the camera shift the focus to that person for audio. So this is a great feature. I was in Montreal and doing video of people far away, and it was focusing on their ambience noise at that place instead of right at where I was standing. So this is a great feature, but it has to be under 20 or 30 frame per second. So if you need this, just switch the frames. Now we're going to go to even more advanced settings, but if you don't want to go, you can just leave it here. That this should be good enough to give you very nice quality video. Now let's click on these dots, and we're going to go to video section. So here you're going to see camera and other section, but we're going to go to video section. This is for photo and let's go to video, which is going to be right here. So stabilization always has to be, you can always keep it on. Audio zoom, this is on, and this is what I just showed you, because if you keep it off here, you're not going to get that option even when you're doing like 24 or 30 frame per second. So keep it on here. Video format, here you're going to see a few options, but my recommendation would be just keep H265, because this is going to give you very good quality video with very good file size. It's not going to not give you big file size, and this is compatible with all editing apps. So what happened, I tried doing these two, and some of the video editing apps cannot recognize these two. So this, for that reason, this is for the best option to choose. And then here, optimize FPS, you don't need that. This is what it is, that the video changes frame per second based on the situations, but I never tried it, and even I didn't like the idea that your frame rates are changing automatically. This is I have a feeling that this is going to ruin your video. So for that reason, keep it off, and then basically you can just keep these on. And for underwater photography and video, you can turn it on, but I'm not doing any underwater for now, so I'll just leave it off. And even if you leave it off, still you can do very nice underwater photography with your Pixel 10 Pro. Now the settings I showed you, these are not just Pixel 10 Pro specific. If you have other versions of Pixel, most of these are or may be available to your phone, and you can just check, and then you can go based on what I just mentioned. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.